Hey guys, thank you for being on my show, Their Fight Story. We have Marcus and Armand with us with Cage Icons. How are you guys doing today?
Good, fairly well. How about you?
I'm doing good, thank
Doing
you.
great. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here. I know it's a beautiful day and you guys should be relaxing and enjoying, but you got me. So tell us a little bit more about what your company is about, Cage Icons.
Yeah. I guess let's go ahead and dive into the narrative. So my name, no, it's all good, all good. My name is Armand Bellamy. I am the CEO of Cage Icons, and this is my co-founder Marcus Hemingway, CEO of Cage Icons. And Marcus and I have been friends for over 10 years now. Been workout buddies in the past. We've trained at a Muay Thai gym in South Philly together. So this is my brother right here.
Yeah.
So we've always been fans of the mixed martial arts space. It was a get together with friends on weekends. Order pizzas, a couple beers, and just kind of watch the fights. That was a way for us to kind of come together.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of over the years, I've had several career changes, and just trying to figure out what am I going to do in life. Yeah, Marcus is laughing for a reason when I say several. That I'm not lying. But
he was just talking about it this morning, actually.
Yeah, so it's just like everyone kind of figures out, or at least strives to figure out what their purpose in life is. What actually gives you a real sense of meaning and validation in terms of why you wake up every day. Family's one, but career is very important as well. And we only have this finite resource of time that we have on this earth to really make an impact. So being a fan of mixed martial arts over the years, I've seen these men and women step into the octagon. They put their bodies and lives on the line every time they get into the cage. And oftentimes the comp side on the tail end, there's a huge disparity just in terms of wages.
Yeah.
So becoming a fan and a part of being a fan of a sport is just becoming better educated, and you just kind of really learn that maybe the men and women at the top of the totem pole, they may make 300, 400, 500 grand per pay-per-view, but you look at the men and women that are on the undercards that kick off the event, and they're making $10,000-$12,000. They're having to pay for camps, they're having to bring in trainers, they're paying for nutrition. If they get hurt, they have to pay for medical bills. At the end of the day, they may not even be breaking even. So for them to have that kind of commitment in a 3 to 4 month fight camp, and really not have anything to show but some battle wounds and pride from getting their hand raised, that's pretty significant to me. That was very compelling. So I am a software engineer by trade, and I just kind of really saw that as an opportunity. It's one thing to say you want change, and it's one thing to talk about it and be a Monday morning armchair jiu-jitsu coach, and you should have Kimura them instead of going for the sweep, but it's also something actually to take action. So I was just like, why can't we build an app that can help fighters, hopefully put some money in their pocket, give them some more time to shine. They only really get the spotlight in promos that are cut before the fights and leading up to the event. The other, 9 to 10 months of the year, if they're not taking another fight, they're kind of in the shadows unless they do promotion for themselves. So it's like, why not? Can we create a cohesive experience for fighters and fans to come together, and really just one place, because that currently doesn't exist. People can come to your website, consume content. They can go to ESPN. They can go to all these, disparate news feeds out here, but there's not really one cohesive ecosystem. But we're gonna put an end to that, and that's gonna be Cage Icons.
Yeah. The biggest thing is just, helping the fighters, and, a lot of the stuff you don't see is people actually have real jobs, like real life jobs. I think you have a couple biologists out there, you have school teachers, firemen, and they're doing these regular jobs on top of trying to train full time and deal with the family full time, and they do all of these things. It's just not enough time in a day to do all of that and still be sane, I guess.
Now, how would this, what would the fighters be looking at on your app?
Yeah, great question. What is it in the first place? So We are definitely not in the business of trying to reinvent the wheel. Social media has been around for, 17 years now. I think Facebook came out around 2001, 2003. So it's a very similar experience to, if you were to pull up Instagram or Twitter. So you'll be able to post content on our, it's going to be a mobile app first. So we're going to be supporting iOS out of the gate, with Android coming up shortly behind that. But it's going to be a mobile app. We have multiple templates. Fighters can post recipes, workouts, blog posts, articles, kind of sky's the limit, just to kind of round out the content publishing experience. Because if you hop on Instagram, you're posting photos and videos, and that's it. There's so many, other aspects into the fight game. There's so many more aspects of people that, I think the fans would really love to have more of an intimate look into, the fighters' lives and want to help contribute. So fighters can post content on their website. It's free for fans and fighters to join, but fighters can gate their content in terms of if they want to post something, they can put a price on it. So fans can subscribe on a monthly basis to have access to this content that normally it wouldn't traditionally be seen on the public. And hopefully, fighters can bring over their following over to Cage Icons and leverage off that opportunity that they've already built these relationships with their fans on other social media platforms. And if their fans are really about it and are true fans, they don't mind, slipping them a couple, bucks every month, just to know that they're helping them on their cause, on their journey to, establish their legacy and put food on the table for, their own families. So yeah, that'll be one aspect of it. But we've got, 3 different offerings on our platform where we're just not another Instagram or Twitter. We have a live active news feed that gets refreshed that pretty much scrapes the internet for all relevant news in the MMA space. So I'm guarantee we're going to see a couple articles from your platform, just front and center. So we're always just trying to show love to up and coming writers in the space as well. I think that's like the key mission statement, is just trying to, there's a lot of people that have been doing work in this space for a long time that just haven't had the visibility and the pay. And it's one thing to do it for the love, but it's also nice to have a couple commas in the bank account to, to support that. So, I'll let Marcus touch on our betting aspects on the app.
Yeah, so I mean, that's going to be the fun part. That's one part I really love about the app is the pick 'em. So right now you have a fight every week, and just like fight night tonight, we're going to be able to put the whole card on there and give fans as well as the fighters a chance to pick which fights they think are going to pan out the way they're going to go. So on Instagram every week, you'll see like fighters poster cards of like where they circle the actual person. You may or may not see that. Mm-hmm. But same situation, but we're going to have the whole card, and it's going to be, they can pick the fight on that app. And we're going to have prop bets, which is something I'm really excited about. So prop bets like how many takedowns will this fighter have, will it over and unders and stuff like that. Or one of my favorites is, will John Jones pop positive this month? There's some fun stuff like that you won't really be able to see on other platforms because of the stranglehold that whoever the company that they work for have on them. They can't say things like that because of course they're working for Disney or whoever they're working for. Hello.
You're blowing up, Igalia. Yeah. So I think importantly to mention as well as we are going to be fantasy focused. So we're not going to be taking live money bets at this point. We are a young and scrappy startup, and that, kind of relies on, having quite a large bankroll to facilitate that and have the proper licensing. So we're just going to kickstart it off with fantasy, and really just kind of make a footprint. And, not everyone has to join Cage Icons to support fighters. Yeah. We wanted to be able to have a couple different avenues for people to remain engaged within the community in between fight weekends. So, as Marcus mentioned, we'll have, the pick'ems, we'll have the prop bets. We'll just keep it fun. We'll keep it interesting. And we're also thinking of having a couple other tournaments. We'll leave that kind of TBD within the application as well, that fans and fighters can participate to actually win money outside of the betting aspect. So yeah, we've got a lot going on. So we're excited. This has been an effort that has been in the works for about 1.5 years now. We've been, we started initial outreach, last year, thinking
March.
Yeah, around March of last year. And, as Marcus and I, we both work full-time jobs. So a lot like these fighters where, we're just trying to find nights and weekends to really just try to build this out and make sure we do it right. There have been some efforts that have kind of come out that have touched on this. But you just really have to come out of the gate and do it right the first time. Like, especially if we're, out here trying to advocate and, promote fighter advocacy in terms of compensation and pay. We can't come out of the gate and, fighters look to cash out a $5,000 balance that we say that they have, and they're running into issues. So, we're making sure all of our I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and people actually get paid at the end of the day. Because, if all this effort and we launch and people can't get paid, then to me, it's for naught. So
that's a bad review in the App Store.
What's going to be on there that the fighter's going to be like, oh my gosh, I want to sign up. Oh my gosh, I want to be a part of it.
Aside from these two handsome gentlemen that are speaking with you now, but yeah, I think what I just kind of really mentioned, where it's a focused community. One of the advantages of using Cage Icons is, you hear from a lot of fighters that there's a lot of trolling online.
Yes.
They just busted their ass for 3-4 months in a camp and they lose by, some freak knockout. And, fans are just getting in their, DMs and hitting them up in the comments and just saying some really disparaging things.
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah. Everyone's tough when they get a little beer or they got their feet kicked up on the couch, but I guarantee you lock them in the cage, it's a different story. So one of the benefits of Cage Icons is for anyone to leave comments, they have to be supporting an athlete. So you have to pay to essentially talk shit. So, that's one aspect in terms of, we're trying to get away from the whole bullying thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's alive and well in this world, and there are a lot of bullies, and I'll end it there. But that'll be one aspect of it. But yeah, it's just a focused ecosystem where, you're on Instagram, you can see cars, you can see social media influencers, you can see, you can see everything. But, even if you look at other platforms like Patreon, it's really easy to kind of get lost in the mix. You are a small fish in a very large pond there. But Cage Icons is the only ecosystem and community in mobile app or web app presence that is really just focused around mixed martial arts. This is a growing sport. The sport isn't new. It's been around for, close over 20 years now. So, to build an ecosystem around that and just have a place where, you can go to tap into your fans and your following, and you don't have to kind of piece through and, figure out how can I take an interesting post on Instagram to get more followers. The people here that, love to consume this content, that are, itching to, see what Fight Island is going to look like, and, that are just, quarantine, I think, hit a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And the fact that there were no sports and the fact that UFC figured out how to do it, I think it really helps satiate that appetite. So, for fighters and fans alike to come to one community and just stay connected. I don't know if a second wave is going to happen in the world, but at least we have another community that we can all come to and stay active. And, just like UFC, we're not going to shut down. If the fight shut down, we've got several different avenues to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
Now,
Just community base is the biggest thing. Like you said, you don't want to go on Instagram. You scrolling down, you got fights here, and then you got some family playing with rubber duckies outside in the pool that has nothing to do with fights. And then you have the models. It's just a whole bunch of different stuff you go to on there. But on our platform, it just gives you the opportunity to keep it all fight centric, and you basically see just fighting instead of fighting around the scroll, trying to get back to that post that you saw earlier in the day, and then you see all this other stuff.
Yep. Yeah. As much as I love skinny tea ads, you won't see that on Cage Icons.
Is this primarily focused on professionals or AMIs?
Great question there. So our initial threshold to join Cage Icons, there is a screening process. So we will verify fighters, and our criteria currently is you have to have at least 2 professional fights at a professional organization. It can be on the regional circuit, but it has to be sanctioned, and we have to be able to verify that you are on someone's roster. While we realize that amateurs are probably the greatest population in need for an application like this. I don't want to sell the false dream of saying, come to Cage Icons and you can make $10,000 a month posting content. If you don't have a compelling story, or if you don't have an already kind of existing following, it's going to be difficult for me to sell that dream and for you to join and post content and wondering why you only have a $5 balance. I'm not here to sell pipe dreams. I'm here to be a realist. We are one platform to help. But similar to the UFC, it's just like, I don't think they offer media training. There's a lot of offerings out there. We can only help. We can only, hopefully provide another element, provide another fishing pole to help people fish, and, provide for themselves. So yeah, I think we'll play around with that idea. I'm definitely all ears. I think Marcus and I are very open to, opinions and criticism, just in terms of helping the platform better. So, yeah. Once you leverage the platform, once you use it, and if you find ways that you think, hey, we're missing the mark here, or there's another entire population out here that we think could benefit, let us know. We're receptive.
We definitely keep a close eye on the amateur come-ups, the people who are coming up in the amateur game. I think we saw a fight before everything got shut down earlier this year in Philly. It was a girl, she's like 19 years old. Her name's Brooke Fay. She's an amateur, but hell of a fighter already. So like I said, we're keeping a close eye on everybody who's amateur or looking to turn professional soon. And we're also, like I said, we're talking about what we can do for them at a later date,
Yeah. And our primary driver behind having 2 professional fights is we don't want to dilute the platform. It's easy for someone to say, hey, I'm on the amateur circuit, but that just loses interest and they're no longer involved in the fight game. And then all of a sudden they are, posting content that is completely irrelevant. Like on Cage Icons, it doesn't have to be fighter focused content. We actually, I love the story of Chad Mendes, where, he was a very well-renowned UFC fighter, but he was thinking of life after hanging up the gloves. So he started, I believe, Fins and Feathers, his guided tour company of leading, I'm not a hunter, but, active hunting sessions out in the brush. And, he had a huge following where he turned this into a business model, and I think he's killing it. So, it's just like not only thinking of, all right, how do I get to the elite levels? How do I get to the UFCs, the Bellators, the One Championships? But also, what does it look like, once you hang up the gloves? Like, are you going to go back to a traditional 9-to-5? If you have any interesting hobbies or skills that you want to share with an audience to test the waters, Cage Icons is here for that, because you've got a receptive crowd. You already have people that know you. So yeah, just share who you are, share your outside business interests, and, grow your platform and grow your brand. That is what we are ultimately here for.
And if you look at other, sorry to cut you off, but if you look at other sports, like I said, there's no formal media training for these guys. And it seemed like other sports, people are really, really good at growing their brand. And with the MMA, if these guys aren't fighting, they seem to not be growing their brand. We basically want to provide this so they can have a place that they can grow their brand all year long, instead of just during fight camp or when they're having fights.
What happens when they retire? Are they still a part? Can they still have access to all that? Can they still, because they'd be a former fighter, but.
Yeah, we're going to take 50% royalties. No. So, no. So if a fighter decides, to leverage our platform and, they're a pro and their next fight, they decide, to walk away from the sport, they will forever be, it's a dated term, but grandfathered into our platform. So they will always be welcome. They put in, X amount of years to become a professional in this arena. We're not going to take away that designation from them just because they decided to move on to their next, the next phase of their lives.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
That's awesome. When do you think you're going to be going live with it?
Oh, $1 million question. So we're excited. We're pretty much full steam ahead. We are on active sprint mode right now, 4/3/40 time, to launch International Fight Week. We have UFC 251 coming up, Fight Island, you know, it's been promoted, tiki torches and snorkels and scuba diving lessons. That's not going to be a reality, but we're going to show up. So we're looking to launch the week of, I believe it's that Monday is July 6th, leading up to UFC 251. There's a lot of positive energy out here, a lot of positive momentum. It's a huge card. So people are going to be very well engaged. So we think that's going to be a great time for us to launch. And, you know, ultimately get feedback. You know, if we do well, if we get, you know, 10K signups, that's a win for me. But even if we get 5, I'm happy. You know, it's been a labor of love for both Marcus and I. We've attended, you know, multiple events. I'm in Philly, you know, Marcus is here in Connecticut. So, you know, we've been primarily in the Northeast, going to, you know, shows, shaking hands with fighters, you know, demoing the app to them, getting their feedback, just helping to get the good word out. You know, I think that's ultimately what it is. You know, it's one thing for, you know, I think it's easy to tell who's real out here. You know, one of the things, and, you know, not to get into the whole, you know, pandemic and quarantine, but I think this has really brought out either the best or the worst in people. You really see like people's true colors in a sense of what they actually really value. So, you know, Marcus and I, we are 2 guys. We grew up in a small town in Georgia. We worked really hard to kind of, you know, break away from that and create our own paths in life. And, you know, yeah, like I said, I just believe in being good people. We're not in this to capitalize on the fighters. You know, we're taking a very small percentage of what the fighters make monthly. We're just looking to keep the lights on. We're not looking to, you know, grandfather people into contracts that they have to sign to leverage our platform. We're really just trying to give back. Where I feel like we're just 2 grounded dudes who are just trying to do the right thing and create a platform for everyone just to come together and, you know, just to celebrate the sport. So yeah, we're looking second week of July, launching in the iOS App Store. We are a global app, so we will be supporting multiple currencies. We use, not to get into technical details, but we use Stripe as a payment gateway for us. So we don't manage anyone's personal credit card or bank account information. Stripe is a vetted platform that has all the proper licensing, all the proper regulations. So whenever you click a button on our app and says requesting their funds, that is coming directly from Stripe, and they will deposit that directly into the bank account that you set up with us. So, you know, there are no smoke and mirrors when you use Cage Icons. There's going to be no hidden terms in our terms of service that, you know, it's like, all right, we got you because you didn't read it. You're locked in. So, you know, we're all about transparency. So, you know, if anyone has any questions about our platform or, you know, wants to learn more, they can definitely reach out to us. You know, we're on social, we're on Twitter, Instagram at Cage Icons. We're an open book at this point. So yeah, to answer your question in a long-winded way, second week of July, 2020.
Nice.
Fight Island.
Do you guys want to give I know you mentioned it before, but do you guys want to be able to give like your Twitter, all your information so people can get a hold of you and reach out?
Absolutely. So you can find us on Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, pretty much all anything online, Twitch. We're on all of that stuff, and it's just Cage Icons, one word. Or is it a space?
Yeah, no, just one word.
One word. No, I'm just joking. I think we went through that whole spiel before we started. No, it's just Cage Icons, CAGEICONS. And you can, like you said, if you have any questions about what we're doing, what we plan to do, and how we're going to do it, we're open books. Feel free to message us on any of those platforms. We're not on Facebook as of right now. But feel free to message us, and we will answer the questions for you. If you just want to say what's up, say what's up. And we're just basic dudes. We'd be happy to talk to you, and hopefully we can answer your questions and help you out.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Like I say, we're in the presence of you. You're the legend here.
We're present of greatness. We're walking in the shadows of giants right now. No, seriously, wholeheartedly thank you for taking this time, because we are essentially kind of nobodies in this space right now. And we are starting out with an idea and a vision, and it's up to us to execute. But, you know, thank you to people like yourself for giving us the opportunity and the platform to, you know, verbalize what we're trying to do, and, you know, all the good that we are trying to do. And it takes these real conversations to see through the BS and to see that, okay, maybe these two dudes are actually genuine. They actually mean what they say. So it's up to us to deliver in the end. So, thank you for providing us the opportunity to tell our story, to, share some of our vision and our ideals and goals. And, I think moving forward, we can all grow together. So like I said, Marcus and I, we're open books, hit us up with any ask. If you just want to have a conversation, we're going to start live streaming fights, not the actual fight itself. I know copyrights and all that, but, we'll be doing some commentary just to kind of, shoot the breeze and have some banter. So, we're going to be a lot more visible in the space now. We've been hiding in the shadows, doing all the hard work. And now it's time for us to, share our baby with the world. So second week of July, look out for us. As I mentioned, it's going to be in the iOS App Store first, and then probably in the months to follow, we're going to be releasing for Android, just to have that cohesive experience across the board. So yeah, check us out. There's no cost to download the app. There is no cost to use the application. So, show us some love if you can, and just give us feedback. That's what we're all looking forward to, continue to make this effort better for everyone across the board, not just us, not the fighters, not the fans, but for everyone that wants to leverage this platform.
Awesome.
And if you see us in your boxes on like Instagram or Twitter or whatever, if you see us in your DMs, no, we're not trying to, sell you anything. No, we're not trying to get your personal number or anything like that. We're just letting you know that we're here and we're coming and we're ready to help you guys tell your story.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was beautifully said. Love it.
Thank you. Like I said, we're in the presence of all this greatness, and it just kind of rubs off on you, and you start feeling it. So,
yeah, okay, that's a good one. I'm on your side, so you don't have to keep saying.